Yo, nephew, hand me that bar stool. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. You know what it is, and for what it's worth. You can catch me on the best corner 21st. Prime time, shine time, always in the game, never ever on the sideline. Fresh and clean.
The 21st in Prime with my man Jamie Dukes and Rone. One name stands alone. Sponsored by Heineken 000, zero alcohol, 69 calories, and I love every minute of it, baby.
Yes, sir. It's the perfect thing. We got the draft coming up. It's the perfect thing. You knock a couple back. You stay sharp for the draft. You're drinking your Heinekens. You're feeling good about yourself. You're loose, but it's only 69 calories. So you're slim, trim, mean, and fucking ready to go.
Speaking of NFL draft, check this out. So, Mike Lombardi just put out that it's well, I won't say it's true, but he believes that the kid from Ohio State is not going to the 49ers at 3. It is official. With all the talk that's being said, he's not going there at 3. That looks like, to me, who would you see them going with? The kid at Alabama, or where do you see them doing?
They're probably going to take the kid from Alabama. I like the kid from is it North or South Dakota?
It's North Dakota State.
North Dakota State. I like that kid, man.
Yeah.
I like that kid. I really like that kid.
What do you like about him? What did you see that? I mean, he's been winning games.
I like his poise. Does not turn the ball over. That means he makes great decisions. Very versatile. He's not a dual threat guy, but his capability and his physical toughness. And he came up the hard way, man. He not heavily recruited out of high school, had to take what he got, and he turned it into something. I know they're saying, well, he's only started 17 games. Well, shoot, that's not a minor thing when you think about the kid from Alabama only started the darn year as well. So I don't know why you want to shoot him for that, and you're not going to this guy for that same thing. It don't make sense. I like that.
I got PTSD about North Dakota State quarterbacks because of Carson Wentz and how the last year just went for the Eagles. Should I be scared of him? Like, are they in the same class or are they completely different players?
Two totally different players. One is known for his physical toughness, and the guy is accurate, man. I think he's only threw one pick all last season. Just come on.
He didn't throw a pick last year.
Well, he threw one. It might have been this season or whatever. He threw one.
I thought this was maybe he threw it the year before, but this year.
No, he threw one. I think this year he threw one pick, but the kid can flat out play. He can flat out play.
Question for both of you.
Okay.
And I want you to go back now, Coach. But the question is going to be ultimately, take your shot with this draft. Pick somebody that I'm just trying to tell you about. That's one thing. Okay. But Coach, okay. This kid now, you played quarterback. Rone, did you know Dan was quarterback in high school?
You did?
Did you know? Yes,
imagine the ball in my hands every play. They closed the bathrooms because that's how exciting it was.
But
everybody else, they pee the whole game because the ball was in my hands the whole every play.
60 minutes of prime?
Yeah. 60 minutes of prime. Shoot. It's like playing pinball machine. If
they had, when you were growing up, that development, like for example, what you put your kid, if you had what your son had,
you mean resources?
No. I know that part, but no. I'm just saying what it could have should. And knowing what you gave your son, and you were a quarterback. Do you believe if you had all that 7-on-7 training from the age of 9, that you would be a quarterback instead of a cornerback?
Nope. I think destiny is destiny.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is what it is. Back in our day, you got to understand the guy with the most athletic ability played quarterback because they knew the play was going to break down, and you need the guy with that to have the ball in his hands. No, I don't whatsoever. Some guys, you see the eye for it. It's not that you made your son this. This is really who he was. And you see it like this guy cerebrally, he's really a quarterback. And Shiloh was a quarterback, but he grew out of that cerebrally. He really was a safety. Like Shallow, I can't call a darn play, and the quarterback is asking the running back, "What's the play I just called?" You're not a quarterback. Your attention to detail is not such. That's not who you are, son. It's over.
This draft has a lot of sons in it too, like the Patrick Surtain's son, Asante Samuel's son, Joe Horn's son. A lot of them
play. And they can play, man.
Yeah, all D-backs, honestly. What do you see in all those guys?
Asante Samuel, I watched him when he was at Florida State. If he was 6 foot, 6'1", he'll probably be bona fide first rounder. Let's just get that straight. I think the only thing is prohibiting him is his height, his stature. Horn.
Do you think he'll be able to play on the outside, or is he just going to be a slot guy?
No, he's tough enough to play on the outside. Horn and Surtain, they're a step above the rest. They're really good. I would give Surtain that number one stunner seed because of the consistency. He makes plays. Horn prevents plays. Didn't make as many plays as Surtain, but both of those guys can flat out play the game.
What's the difference between that? What's the difference between making plays and preventing plays?
Horn, I believe, only had 1 or 2 interceptions his whole career, and that's not a lot of plays when you started for 3 years straight. Surtain, at his highest level, they had a big game every darn week at the University of Alabama, and he was the guy that went to guard the ones, and he made plays.
Traveler.
So that's the difference to me.
Talk about traveler, because I don't think people really understand the guy who travels.
A guy that goes to the left corner, right corner. You're not left corner, right corner. You're corner. If you have Julio Jones coming to town this week in Atlanta Falcons, you know who you got. Wherever he goes, he travels. You're going right with him. And whoever that guy is, DeAndre Hopkins, if he comes to town, you got him everywhere he goes. You're not a left side, right side. You're a guy that travels. And I give a lot of credit, a lot of respect to guys who travel because that's not easy.
J.C. Horn, I know he was guarding tight ends. He was guarding Kyle Pitts, that guy out of Florida who is going to be a beast. A lot of people are saying that he's like the top position player who's not a quarterback.
He's a can't miss. That guy Pitts is a can't miss.
Wow.
I watched him. He's a dog. You can play him anywhere you want to play him. He's a matchup nightmare for the NFL. You're going to have to put a physical. You're going to have to put a Tyrann Mathieu. You're going to have to put a physical DB on him that can run.
20 from Florida State. That's the only guy that I mean. He is so he's so like his catch rate is. That's what makes him unstoppable. Is his catch radius.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is just. By the way, I want y'all to pick again somebody we're gonna talk about later on. That's an I told you so. You know, people they're not talking about right now. You might have picked him out beyond with the kid. We're gonna talk to, by the way, cornerback from Virginia Tech, Caleb Farley, here in a little bit.
Hey, that kid could play, man. I watched him play.
6'2". 6'2".
200. Don't say 197. 200. I like this kid, man.
6'2".
I watched him. I watched him playing.
He started off as a receiver too, didn't he? I think he was originally a receiver, and they're like, no, he's destined to be a quarterback, kind of like what you were saying before. Like you started off as a quarterback, but you were destined to wind up where you wind up.
There he goes. What's up, man? Caleb, how you doing?
What's going on? I didn't know you guys could see me yet. I
can see it. I watched you play a couple games, man, and particularly one game that it didn't go. It wasn't. I wasn't happy about it. You know who I'm talking about. Jamie, you know what I'm talking about. He put it on the boys, man. Put it on our boys. He had a great game. What was that? 2 years ago?
That was my freshman year, first game.
First game, and let me tell you something. I was like, he was playing at a whole nother speed, Jamie, than everyone was on the field. Like he was at a whole nother speed. And I was like, this kid here, oh my God, if he could just stay consistent and learn some of the techniques, he's gonna go. And lo and behold, here you go. Here you go, man. How you feeling right now going into the draft?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited. It's a feeling I can't really explain. It's just surreal, you know, even talking to you guys and doing these things. It's been everything I always wanted and dreamed for.
You played the poker game. You know, the poker game was with COVID. you decided to sit. How tough was that for you?
It was just a decision of, my situation being a little different than everybody else, that I in the facility, instead of having a roommate, me living with my father, coming home, eating dinner, after practice and stuff with my father, it just, I started to have negative, evil thoughts, I say, that I couldn't really shake and just ignore. And eventually I just, said, man, my spirit just isn't sitting right, with this. So I made the decision I made. I'm trying not to live in regret because I'm still in a good position, and at the end of the day, I know I can play. And I just never got comfortable with it.
How did you spend your year? I mean, this is such a weird year, but you had the luxury of being able to prepare for Thursday night for the entire. So how did you spend this last year?
Man, I learned so much. I opted out July 31st. I signed with my agent, that day. And like 3 days later, I was at Exos, Pensacola for a month. Immediately after that, went to, Aventura, Florida, was working with Pete Bomrito. And I pretty much just got to see what an NFL offseason would be like. I got to meet a lot of people, even corners in the NFL that kind of, mentored me and just showed me the ropes. But I basically just got to see and feel what it would feel like to wake up every day, go to the field, go to the gym, go to the medical, to eat right, and things like that. Work on my technique and things like that. And I think that was the best thing for me, man. I know I've improved the corner position majorly since my 2019 season.
And a lot of that, man, is going to be on the job training. I mean, you could prepare. I could tell you this, they could tell you that, but until you actually get in there, until you actually get going with that everyday life, it's nothing to compare it to until you get in. And the biggest thing that I can say from college to pros is you guys got to learn how to study.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, I tell my kids that I'm coaching right now, guys, if you don't like school, you shouldn't go to the NFL because 90% of your day is going to be in a classroom. Like that, you're going to be in a classroom sitting up there studying your opponent, or you're going to be at home with the iPad studying your opponent, or with the big screen studying your opponent. That's what it is. And when you guys learn how to study and stop watching yourself, it's going to be phenomenal. Wouldn't you agree, James? Like the first thing you do, Rone, is you watch yourself. You got to start understanding, hey, man, I play against this dude twice a year. And I may have to play against this cat for the next 5 years. So that's a battle. I got to know everything about him. I got to know the way he holds his hands. I got to know when he breaks the huddle and the jog, when he slows down. I got to get to know these coordinators, because the West Coast offense does not, they do the same old thing with different personnel. The study process is unbelievable. How are you preparing for that?
I actually love to study and watch tape. I'm a student of the game. And I usually just watch the flow of the game at first and kind of, pick the offensive coordinators' minds and see how they like to run their schemes and, try to put pass and route relationships together and things like that. But for me, it's comforting to just to have the ability and the confidence to cover somebody, but to also put it with some study and film work. Is comforting to me. In college, I used to watch tape up to kickoff, on my phone and in the locker room. Like I said, it's extra comforting. It gives you a little extra confidence going into it.
Who was inside? Okay, every cornerback's got some prime in them. Okay, yes, I had some prime in me too. You should check out my.
You did. You actually did.
I did it when I played. I was a center. But I channeled Prime and Andre, Rising. But who else is in there when you look at you as a football player? And I see the brain in there already, and that's impressive already.
Well, my whole football career, I was a quarterback all my life, but I always been an alpha, been the uno. I ain't never been no pushover. I always step on the field to earn my respect every single time, and that's what I've done all my life. So. Prime was the reason I accepted corner so gracefully. I was an offensive guy, but he made the position cool. And then on top of that, my only corners coach actually got to spend some time and play with Coach.
Little fella.
Yeah, Coach.
Jason Phillips?
No, the original little fella.
Yeah.
The original little fella from Atlanta, James. I'm trying to help you.
The wide receiver.
I tell you,
No.
Coach. I tell you a funny story, Coach Prime. We used to always joke on it because he would bring you up and tell stories, and we would always, oh, you don't know, Coach, you don't know prime time, you don't know prime time, and then so he just pulled out his phone one day and he FaceTimes you just out of the blue, and you answered, and everybody was in the corners room like, because we heard your voice and we was just all shook like, and we stopped joking on him after that, but that just was a funny memory in college that I had.
Hey, he's a good man. He was a tough corner, loved the game, studied the game. He's a wonderful college coach, and I've always been there for him when he called. I tried to get him a couple guys down. Matter of fact, I was trying to get him my son Shiloh early on. I was like, hey, man, I got a safety that can flat out play. You better check him out. Then stuff started blowing up, and he got on him too late. But who is the one guy that you look forward to? Like, hey, man, I can't wait to play because I really want to go at him. I want to get some of him. I want that.
I'm so excited and it's got such a big chip on my shoulder to get on the field. I want to play all of the guys that the public looks at as
good answer.
Good answer. I want to play the guys that the public look at and go, he's a freak. Wow, that's Tyreek Hill or that's DK Metcalf. That the guy sitting back home on the couch is like, man, I'm scared of that dude. That he's a freak. So I want to play all of those guys, man. I'm just extremely excited to strap it back up, and
Caleb, it's a long draft process for you, and there's mock drafts. You're compared to all these other players. How much of that noise makes it to you? Do you pay attention to any of that?
Well, no, and I answered it this way. I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder regardless. Regardless if I go in the 5th round, I go in the 1st round. If I'm the first, I'm gonna believe I'm the best corner in this draft, regardless of where I go. And even if you go in the top 5, you don't have a starting job promised. You don't have anything promised to you. Nothing's made in this life, and I understand what a performance-based industry is. So, I'm prepared to come in and work and out-compete and outperform everybody in front of me, regardless of where I go. I'm just excited to have the opportunity to still lace up the cleats and and be healthy. So I'm excited, man.
Man, I don't want you to worry about 1st round, 2nd round because the second money is always the real money. So the first money is, you might as well throw that up in the air and that's going to be gone in a minute. But that second contract is that one that's going to take you to right before you 30. And that's
exactly. Yeah. I want the career anyway. You can have the money. I want the career.
Yeah, we're going to get both of them, all right? We're going to get both of them. We're going to get both of them because you got to take care of some of those things you need to take care and get some of those things you've always wanted, man. When you think about the draft, give me the emotions, man. I was going into that day, I was just thinking about, my mama's never going to have to work another day of her life, man. Like, if I do my thing, if I handle this right. I was thinking those thoughts. Man, a lot of folks depending on me and Fort Myers to put this whole city on my back. I got them. I'm not going to let them down. Those are my kind of thoughts that I was going into the draft in. What are those thoughts that you're taking into the draft?
Right now, every emotion in me, every thought that I have, and I don't want to say this to like down the draft because it's truly my dream since I was 6 years old. But I'm so like frustrated and want to get on the field, Coach Prime. Like I don't try to, but I see everything. The injury speculation. Nobody truly understands. What happened. In my injury in 2019 and all those type of things. So that's the only thing I can think about is dominating. That's truly the only thing I live for. Is to be a generational talent at the cornerback position. I don't want to be. Like, I truly want to go down 20 years from now and have kids look at me the way, the kids look at you. And I feel like I can do that. And I'm confident that I can do that, if I just stay the course and, God, is on my side.
Your family, it's clear, you had Tristan McKenzie on. Talk a little bit about your family. You mentioned your dad. Mm-hmm. And it's clear there's some wisdom there. There's a lot more seasoning there. Who are those people for you to kind of help forward you?
My mother and my father. my mother was such a sweet lady, you know, during her time here before she passed from breast cancer. She instilled in me faith, my love for Jesus Christ, everything on that side of the spectrum. One of the huge reasons why I feel like, you know, I don't have a bitter heart. You know, I got a lot of love for people and joy. And in difficult times like this, or people speak on me, you know, I can kind of relax and smile and know that, you know, I'll have the last say so, you know. And then my father was kind of like the discipline, you know, like the man of the house. You know, he was well respected in the communities, and he kind of put that dog in me. So it's the perfect combination, you know, a soldier of God, and that's who I am, and that's why I have such a huge chip on my shoulder.
See, Jamie, that's wrong. This is the kind of kid I'm looking for right now for Jackson State. Like, I'm looking for a kid that got that dog and a kid of character, man. Yeah. That parents instilled in them some things that no matter how hot it gets, no matter what the temperature get up to, he's going to remain in rock steady, man. That want it, that want something beyond the money and the lights and the action of this game. This guy wants to bring and make a legacy, man. That's the kind of kid I'm looking for right now. And it's hard to articulate it until you hear it, until you see it. But it is what it is. That's the one.
Dude, I'm an Eagles fan, dude. Come to the Eagles, bro.
You can't. Anybody want to play for no Eagles, Rone?
Come on.
I got a feeling they're going another route. You know.
No.
Yeah, I'm on my Randy Moss stuff.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
I love that.
Hey man, I appreciate you. You always could get at me, man. And I want you to grab some of the old school guys so they could teach you the ropes inside the walls of the NFL, man, because the more you understand the game, the more you understand the life of it, the longer you're going to last and you're going to keep your boat rocking steady. Because we could say one thing by seeing you, you know, the way you go about your job and just make that adjustment, and then the rest will be history, man. And that's what some guys afforded me. We had an old school cat named, I call him Reverend Pressure, name was Bobby Butler, man, that went to Florida State, drafted way ahead of me, first rounder, and I actually came to take his job, but he was so kind and so considerate and so helpful to me in my career. It was unbelievable. We would sit there all day watching film, and I learned how to study film and started keeping a library. And like you said, man, I watched film right up until kickoff, man. The scout team film, I made sure the scout guy that was going against me that week was a dog, was going to give it to me. It wasn't no buddy, wasn't no, take it easy. No, you get it. Every ball you catch is going to be $5 for you, or $10. You take me deep, or 20 if you work me. So it was a challenge every day, man. And you have all the intangibles and the knowledge and that want to be that guy, man. Shoot, 6'2", 200, man. That's a freak. And you got that want in you. So I like it, man. I can't wait to see you get down. And God is going to take you right where you need to be.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the encouragement because, yeah, man, I want it. I always have since I was like, so, you know, wanted to be the best. You know, I ain't dedicate my life to this game to say nobody's better than me. You know, when I finish, I want to say I was better than you.
What number are you going to get? Because I'm not happy with this new number bull junk they letting y'all do. I'm not happy with that. But
if I can grab a single digit, I'm in there, Parm.
I know you are. That's what I'm mad about. I'm mad that I like the sanctity of the game and the tradition of it, but I'm mad also that I didn't get to rock that deuce. I'm mad at that as well. Yeah. I don't like it.
You know, it whatever number they give me, I'm gonna make it cool.
No, you gonna have to go tell them what you want. That's how it works in our game. You tell them what you want. They don't give you none. You where you gonna go in the draft? You're gonna go 1 or 2. You tell them what you want.
Well, then I'm gonna be telling them 3. I'm gonna be telling them I wore 5 as a quarterback.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you get down, man. God bless you, man. I wish you the best.
All right, appreciate you, man.
And find me another you.
That's amazing. I mean,
that's a man right there, man. Hey, Brian Mitchell. That's what I say. That was his coach. They played with us. Little fella. He's called him little fella.
Yeah, but you know, we got a lot of little fellas. See, you got to understand. So, Prime has given all of his boys a name. Okay. One of my names is Minister Love. You know,
Love.
That's He's always, Teen Wolf, Eric Peter, we play with, we always, so sometimes, little fella, Jake, but a couple of the little fellas, one is on his staff, that's a little fella, which is Kevin Hawkins. Okay. Then another little fella was Jay Field, who was the wide receiver coach.
Oh, okay.
And so literally, and I'll let you tell the story, Coach, about competition. But that's what he created. He came to Atlanta. We were losers. And so I'll let you take the floor from there on that.
See, we created an environment of competition, Rone. Like when you sit out there with a bunch of people used to losing, we got to start competing. And competing don't start on the game field, it start on the practice field. So I figured out what everybody wanted. They wanted to go to Magic City. We talked about Magic in the show prior, all right? And everybody loved that. So we said, you know what? We're going to have a team party. We're probably going to go to Magic City or bring Magic City to us. We're going to do it one or the other because that's what y'all want. But how we going to raise our money for that is the way we bring it to us. Yeah, the Minister Sanford Arms, which was another entity of Jamie. So what we did in practice, we practiced like a dog, and we were great to practice film. If you caught a ball on me, I had to pay $5. So you go out there and have a regular practice, it could be $100, $150 a day, and you're getting your butt kicked out there. Dang. So $5 ball, they take you deep as 10, touchdown is 20, and you get work, it gets going up and up and up. So we created that environment, and we graded those film for real. So the pot was so big by the time it was time for the team party, because of practice, it was unbelievable. And you start taking pride that you didn't want to give up $100 for a bad practice. You want to work.
Every rep matters. It's brilliant at the end of the day, especially if you have to incentivize. That's what incentive is. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, there's something that people are going to want. And if it's some titties in their face, then so be it. Use that as the incentive. Why not?
Yeah.
None better. Speaking of titties, let's talk about it.
Let's go.
Rome.
What is it? Minister of Love?
Minister Love.
Roman.com.
Okay.
Log on to Roman.com/prime. And let me tell you something. There's nothing worse than having some titties, I guess, in your face and your equipment not working. Nothing worse than that. Because, again, you're young, Rone. Rone, you're young.
So Rone is young enough to be our child.
Yes. So you may not have those kind of plumbing issues, but as you get tell us about the pump count, Coach. Because when you get to
I don't know what y'all talking about. Me speak no.
The coach says that there comes a point in time when you get to a pump count. And once you get to that pump count, then you exceed your number of pumps. So therefore, you need a little assistance. And the beauty of our friends is that, and by the way, let me give you the right website so we got this right. It's GetRoman.com/prime. GetRoman.com/prime. Get yourself $5 off your swipes. Now, how do we segue back into? I got a question for you guys.
Pump count? Wait, you got to tell me more about the pump count. What is the pump count,
Coach?
I guess when you're pumping, you count.
So you don't want to be a 2-pump chump. You want to have maybe.
That's a different pump count. That's a different pump count. That's more the happy ending. But the pump count is the total number. Every man's got his own total number of. Okay, that's the pump count.
So, Coach Prime, would it be a show if Jamie didn't bring up happy endings? I don't think it'd be a show if Jamie.
I was waiting for him to segue back into the whole fiasco in Houston, but thank God he's off that now. No. He must got some new evidence that he's off that now.
No.
But I got a question about our guy Caleb Farley, who was just on, because he was in an interesting position because he can't really talk on it because he could be going to any team. But my question is this: these guys who are about to get drafted, are there teams that they don't want to go to? Are there scenarios?
Yes. You think I wanted to go to Green Bay, Kansas City, or Detroit? No. I wanted to go right to Atlanta. That's why I said, don't draft me. You draft me, I'm going to play baseball. Don't draft me because I needed that Chocolate City, baby. I needed that. I needed to see everything that looked like me, that would understand me, because I was real ignorant back then. I needed folks that I could identify with on another level. And then when I saw that how progressive Atlanta was, that was the place for me. Guys won't say it because it's not politically correct, but it's a lot of teams they do not want to go to. I promise you that.
And what are they like pissed off when they get drafted to like Detroit or something like that? Or are they like, this sucks? Like, I just like what if Jamar Chase, he's going to be like a top 7 pick or something like that. If he winds up going to Detroit, is he secretly like mad? Is he upset at his situation?
Yep. You know why? Because he's looking at the uncertainty at the quarterback position and he's saying, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. Trust me. It happens.
So what about are they ever thinking about the critiques from a certain city? Are people ever like, I don't want to go to New York because they're so tough on me, or I don't want to go to Philadelphia because the fans are
if you're not built like it, you can't take a soft quarterback, a soft personality to that city. You can't do it. You can't. It's not going to work.
How can you tell who's like? Because
you can tell. That's why the draft interviews. That's why the Zoom interviews, the personal interviews. That's why those coaches get out.
Right there, that kid we just saw, he could go to New York.
That kid we just saw go anywhere.
Well, he could, but specifically to the point of what you're saying, he would fit in because you see his confidence, his maturity, his understanding. That's the kind of person
it's like right here. We have coaches meetings. Right now, when I get off the Zoom, we're going to have a coaches meeting. And we're going to have an account for everybody they recruit. We're recruiting. I'm going to ask, are they tough? Are they smart, tough, fast, disciplined? I'm going to ask that. Now I'm going to ask, give me the character. Give me the character of the kid. Can he handle? We got a bunch of old school coaches. We don't have any new school coaches like babying and pampering them. Oh, you okay? No, go in the training room and get some tape, put some icy on. We don't have nothing like that. Hey, man, you going to practice or not? If you ain't, we moving on to the next guy. Like, that's how we get down. So it's a certain type of kid that we're looking for that can handle that. At certain positions, you want a mom and a dad in the house. Certain positions, you just want a mama in the house or a single parent that you want them nasty dogs that they're trying to get out the inner city or save the sisters and brothers in some type of way financially. You want that thing that you can identify with on the inside that you can push that button and you know it's going to jump. So you got to do your homework as coaches, as the scouting department to understand what you're getting and understand what you want. And at NFL, it's a whole nother level because now there's money involved. Still a lot of money involved. And you miss that first or second, third pick, you could get fired.
One of the things
you're saying, there's money involved. That's why it almost makes it tough because it seems like even if you have that dog mentality, like not to keep on bringing it back to Philly, but to me, Jalen Hurts has a dog mentality. But he's in a city where it's so tough that even having the dog mentality, like they still might try to eat him alive. Or if he doesn't succeed, that dog mentality, it might not define who he was, but it defines his success.
There's one word.
I love Jalen Hurts, but I don't love Jalen Hurts for that city.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. But
it's like,
but Rone, to answer your questions, one word is performance. At the end of the day, everybody had to perform.
Right.
Carson Wentz failed to start performing. We saw a flash. We never saw the improvement. He's no different than RG3. We saw a flash, didn't see the growth because you have to grow. And that's the problem. So Jalen Hurts, he just got to improve upon being able to drop back, see read one, read two, and then run. He's going to have to go to that next level, and there's no reason why it's not in there, but that's what he's going to have to do. Coach, I want to hit you with something with this kid Fields. I'm going to go back to this kid Justin Fields, Ohio State. And Ron, I want your feedback on this too. I am now. I told you in the pecking order, I like a kid from BYU. We know the kid from Clemson's going, but my point is the kid from Fields concern me because of what the whispers have always been. Now, I'm not whispers. Well, when he was at Georgia, the reason the coach let him go to Ohio State was because he didn't feel that the player would dive in the way they wanted him to dive in.
Right.
That has followed him again. Now, so if this is true, what is said now, that the 49ers are going to go a different route, the point that I'm going to make is I think now the team that drafts Justin Fields, he's going to be successsul. And the reason
I think he's going to be successful anyway.
Well, I'm talking about from my perspective. I'm not.
He's going to be successful anyway.
Well, I don't know if he can be because you got to
what level of what do you call successful?
I'm saying I think he could. I think if the right team, I think the right team is going to pick him because they know what they've heard.
Okay. What you mean the right team? Is only a few that can possibly pick him if he don't go in those top 3. It's only a few.
There's several teams that down the road they could pick him and look for the future or whatever and have something to rebuild. I mean, Ron Rivera could grab him down there, whatever he's. There's several teams that could. Belichick could grab him down where he is for next year, whatever.
That's still first round, though. That's still first round. Right. You still have an expectation in the first round for first round to deliver.
A lot of times people aren't committed to. He's got a certain set of skill sets that need to be cultivated and accentuated. And the team that drafts him now, I think, one, they know what they're going to do with him and what he can do. But more importantly,
his last 2 years of playing college football, he barely turned the ball over. He outplayed the dream quarterback in the championship game, not championship game, in the playoffs. He outplayed him. This kid can flat out play, man. I mean,
coach. I didn't say he couldn't coach.
No. I'm telling you, he can flat out play. So all the naysaying and all this is only maybe even the top quarterback. We're taking shots at him because he's giving us something to shoot at about his love and his affection for the game. That's just part of the process. That's just part of what
coach.
Part of what we go through. This ain't no white and black thing, Jamie. This is part of being
white or black. It has nothing to do with white or black.
Being a quarterback.
No, it is about quarterback. It's about. But see, here's my thing.
The BYU kid is the only kid that doesn't kill it.
No, let's talk about this kid specifically. Okay. I'm talking about this one kid. And when people are saying something, they're not making some things up. And we all mature. Because I do know for a fact that Georgia, he was worried about getting it in at that time. Obviously, he's shown progress.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, going back to what you said before, if the whispers are we want to make sure he is putting in the time, not enough time, but the time, the kids you're all looking for. We started this earlier show of the week talking about if you don't like being in the classroom and putting it in, you're going to have a problem. Well, the one thing we know with the NFL, it's going to eat you alive at that position if you don't do it. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying the team I believe that drafts him knows who he is. I hope he understands and lets it drive him that this is what they said about me. They kept saying the same thing. It wasn't that I couldn't run, couldn't throw. They was ignoring all that. They said I didn't want it. I didn't want it.
Yep.
Do you think that there's some element for these young quarterbacks that they're not given a chance to really see if they can succeed? So many guys like Sam Darnold, Mitch Trubisky, Carson Wentz have already gotten moved on from their team, and they're like 25 years old. Jared Goff, already in a different situation. These guys, by the time they're like 24, 25, the third or fourth year of their rookie contract, they either have to be a stud or they're getting shipped out of town. And that's what I worry about with Zach Wilson coming to the Jets. The Jets are a mean team. Like the fan base is going to eat if he's not producing playoff level games. And even Mark Sanchez was a playoff quarterback, and he was out of town within just a couple years.
Mark Sanchez was not a playoff quarterback. No, he wasn't.
Well,
he was on a team that went to the playoffs in spite of him a lot of the times. And he did all right sometimes, but that defense was the reason they were in the playoffs. And he was along for the ride. So let's.
The reason this is happening, Rone, is because the head coach and the GM is tied to the quarterback. Now, if you quarterback out that's not producing, or you're going to get fired. It's as simple as that. And some of these guys have already gotten fired because of those guys you mentioned. So now when you're going at that guy, you got to understand he's that guy. College football is the same thing. You look at college football and you find stability, and you find stability at that position. And then you look at records and say, okay, that's why they're winning, because this guy here is a pillar of stability. This guy here, look at all the quarterbacks amongst the NFL that ain't do a darn thing last year, and look at their teams and where they ended. I guarantee you Jacksonville got the first pick. We don't know we don't even know who played quarterback for them last year. The Jets, we know Sam Darnold, and who else?
Joe
2 or 3 other people, right? Okay, who's the next pick? We understand 49ers jumped up to get this pick, but we understand what they've gone through, even though they got Garoppolo, which is now the insurance policy. When you have inconsistency at that position, we talk about New England. They may jump up and get a quarterback, or they may take a quarterback. Why? Because of inconsistency at that position. When you have inconsistency there, it throws everything off. You can't find me a college team, pro team, period, with an inconsistent quarterback that's a really good team. It's not going to happen.
So then maybe it makes sense what the Packers are doing. They drafted a quarterback last year in the first round, and everybody forgot about him. But it's like they're giving somebody the chance to grow a little bit.
They made a mistake, and see that's one thing.
They made no mistake. They made a business decision.
But their business decision, in my opinion, looking at what they had Aaron Rodgers. He's under contract.
Yes.
He's under contract. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he threw 5 picks or 6 picks the first year with the new system.
So in 2 more years, if you hadn't won it all, it's time to move. That's what they're saying. 2 more years, and this guy needs about 2 more.
But is it time to move with him still doing what because he can only take them so far until they finally make sure that line is taken care of. Because it's all Aaron Rodgers' kryptonite has always been the same.
Aaron Rodgers is always going to be Aaron Rodgers, but 2-3 more years by the time this kid develops, that's when the transition. You remember a guy named Brett Favre? He was still Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers was sitting back there, same thing. It worked for him once. They said it's going to work for him again. That's why they did it. Can't fault him for that. Okay. Now, I can fault him for not going to get a receiver in this draft. When you got 100 of them out there, I can fault him for that. I can fault him for not shoring up the defense a little more in this draft when the defense has always been can't fault him for that. But this is what they need to do. But that quarterback position will build you or will kill you.
No, it's a fact. And that's honestly that's a good way for a GM to keep his job for a long time because you already have the succession plan and you can maybe move off of Aaron Rodgers when there's some kind of value there. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is incredible and is still incredible, but look at Patrick Mahomes. He sat for a year behind Alex Smith, who was good. He was doing well with the Chiefs, and then he blossomed into an incredible player. If you don't have to have that lull of getting really bad, of having these down years, that's how you keep your job, and that's how you keep fan bases happy.
But the problem is the window, you see. So imagine if the Green Bay Packers were to take that first round pick they put on that quarterback and drafted Aaron Rodgers a left tackle or another tackle. Now all of a sudden, because everywhere when Aaron's game started going sour, it's just like everybody else, including Tom Brady. When they start putting them things on you, when they start putting them numbers on you, them linemen start getting there and whooping them offensive linemen, it's over. And Aaron Rodgers,
they got a priority board. Maybe the need wasn't there at left tackle. I'm pretty sure.
No, they always go back to RA is I'm just saying they need line help.
But they got a priority board. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at a priority board. And I'm sitting up there, if a quarterback jumped out there right now in the portal, I can't take him. You know why? I need me about 2-3 defensive tackles. That's my priorities right now as we speak.
That's the point, though. That quarterback could not have been the priority to the needs you just articulated.
But what you do have priority, but you got a butt now.
Oh, I got you.
Every board got a butt.
They got a butt. That's why they didn't win, but okay.
But if you're the Atlanta Falcons then this year, you have Matt Ryan, who's a quarterback right now. Would it be stupid for them to draft another quarterback, or should they be putting people around Matt Ryan? I think if Justin Fields is there for them, why not draft a quarterback who could be your quarterback for the next 10 years and let Matt Ryan gracefully go to the wayside?
Well, you have to want that type of quarterback and that type of development strategy for that quarterback bad enough to do that. And that's why I go back to what I said before.
He's not going to be there. This is what y'all are missing.
He's 4 to 5.
Okay, this is what you're missing on the board. When the Green Bay Packers had an opportunity to get a quarterback that can replace Aaron Rodgers in the future, they're sitting up there thinking, man, we're going to win 13, 12 games, 10, 11 games every year. We will to the place that we could get a quarterback of this level. We better grab him now.
But
because what draft are they going to be high enough to get the quarterback they want? What draft? Win. They win every year, man. Win, Jamie. I got time.
But no, Rone is asking about the Falcons at 4. And so
when are they going to get up there? Or Falcons do it every year to get another quarterback?
They're there now. They're there.
Then you got to think about, is this where you're going as a franchise? Because you draft another quarterback, you know Matt Ryan knows it's over, okay? It's over.
Right.
It's a wrap. So are you saying that? Because you can't whisper that. Because when you do that, you're saying that real loud.
I don't think Arthur's doing it. I don't think he's going to Atlanta. I do not. I think he might end up in Washington or further down.
Who?
The kid from Ohio State.
If Atlanta winds up drafting another receiver, imagine if they draft Kyle Pitts.
Another receiver. They can't draft another dang receiver. They can't. You've given Matt Ryan more weapons. You know, I mean, I trade back and get a running back for him if we're going to do that. Matt has had more weapons, and they've had more offensive linemen. They got to get that defense right. They've never seen they seem like they want to draft one player. They bang the table on one guy they bring in, and they got to get that defense fixed. They got to get people to rush the passer. There's a lot of stuff they got to do, but I don't see them taking a quarterback because the other part of that is there's family at the quarterback position, and I don't see them. I don't see them wanting to take that chance.
They're gonna take quarterback. They're gonna take quarterback. They're gonna take quarterback.
At 4?
You know what? I'm hosting the Draftathon, and so I'll be on there with Kevin Hart and many people for the NFL, and I'll call you Thursday because I got plenty of time. They're going to take a quarterback.
They're going to take him? Is that what you're saying?
Take a quarterback in this draft.
I heard you say A.
I don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be a quarterback.
With the first pick.
I said in this draft, they're going to take a quarterback. I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, fine.
Because what I would do, if I were them, I would trade back. I would trade back because some of those quarterbacks still going to be there. They probably have 2 quarterbacks in this draft that they really like.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
That you don't take there. That you don't take right there.
You don't take right there, and he's still going to be there. He could
be in games.
Put up there to get something else. Get you some linemen, defensive players, defensive tackles, whatever you need. Take that because you're right, Jamie. The defense is horrible. Okay, horrible. Not average. They're horrible. So I guarantee they take a quarterback in this draft.
I think that they are too. I think that they're going to start moving on from Matt Ryan. I think that it's just time. Like they want to keep their jobs. They got a new coach down there. I think that that's going to wind up being their move. But coach, you said you got some
relationship wrong. Look up the relationship between
it don't matter
quarterback and the owner of the Atlanta Falcons. Just look that up. Just look that up real quick.
You should know more than anybody, Jamie. When that thing over, it's over.
Well, yeah, but if he's still putting up, but when you put up numbers,
you didn't catch that. When it's over, it's over.
We also have some Barstool draft coverage coming up on Thursday. So the people, while they're not watching you over with Kevin Hart, they should check out the Barstool draft coverage. It's all going to be good.
I'm going to jump on that too. You know, I just feel like working that day. I just feel like working.
Love that. I love that. You're a grinder.
That's going to do it for this edition of 21st and Prime because it is what
he said. I'm a grinder. He didn't say I'm on grinder because somebody I don't want y'all to get that confused.
I don't even know what that is. I don't know nothing. Yeah. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I know what it is. I heard what it is.
What is grinder?
Jose is on grinder.
What's grinder? Rone, what's grinder?
And now, dog.
Rone, what's grinder?
Grinder is when a young man loves another young man very much. They get on a dating app, and it's called Grinder.
Okay, thank you. That's good.
Yeah, I just wanted to preface that, Rone, that you know.
A grinder,
not Jose. I gave you guys a shout out, Jose.
That's going to do it once again for this edition of 21st and Prime because it was over 5 minutes ago before we started talking about Grinder right here. Catch you next time.